you're about my age, probably around 30 years-ish, worked in a bunch of newspapers, seen a lot. Do you think January 6th is the most violent, terrifying event you've ever covered?
No, not by a long shot, but I do think it's probably true that it is the scariest thing that a lot of these people have ever witnessed, which probably says a lot more about them and their life experiences than it does about that day. I don't know.
I think that's a really smart point. I mean, maybe if you're Casey Hunt and you're running around, I'm a journalist, I'm a hard news journalist, like that qualified as Fallujah to you.
Yeah, or if you think that earplugs are rubber bullets that have been shot at you, then you're probably in the wrong line of work. But there is a very important point here. I'm not belittling how traumatic it probably was for her and a lot of people. And it was probably, they probably do suffer from PTSD. And you know what that says to me? Maybe they should find another line of work.
Exactly.
Maybe this is not right for them. You expect them, if you have a prospective juror who you want to put on your jury, if they've witnessed a crime, if they've been a victim of a crime, they're usually stricken from being on the jury.
Yeah.
How are these reporters who survived this day allowed to go and cover congressional hearings every single day where half the people on the panel are people who they believe want to kill them? How can they be balanced,
unbelievable,
even-handed, honest reporters?
They're not.
That's such a smart point. It does feel like the main hiring criterion for every influential position in this country is narcissism. Like, the more solipsistic you are, the more likely you are to get the job.
Well, this is the perfect, they've sort of run through the entire gambit of Twitter, and there were no more tweets to send out. So January 6th is sort of the perfect encapsulation of the Twitter media.
Hashtag January 6th. I'm getting that tattoo someday. So let's talk about January 6th, which was an actual event where crimes were committed.
A riot.
I believe that. And from day one, we've been for prosecuting crimes, all crimes,
absolutely,
including those. However, it's become something much more than that. And this being Washington, of course, it's being used.
The government is saying it's more than that.
How do you think Democrats believe January 6th will allow them to not lose in the midterms?
I think that I don't know how well they've thought it through. First of all, obviously these are the most sheltered people on earth. They don't get out much. If they did get out a little bit more, they'd realize nobody is talking about this.
Is that true?
Nobody but they themselves and the media. And a few people who are obsessed with NPR News every morning are talking about this.
Right.
No normal people, and I'm talking about Democrats. Mainly because if say you're a Democrat voter and you live in Chicago, do you care more about that, or do you care more about the BLM summer of hate in which
all the murders,
your neighborhood got torched,
and dozens of people died?
Dozens of people died. Government buildings were actually destroyed. You had cops
Where was
killed.
Garland then?
Is that more concerning to you, or is this? And I think it just reveals the utter disconnect. And it's a real problem for Democrat politicians because, of course, they've got nothing better to sort of counter all of the mayhem that they inspired, especially in summer 2018. They've got nothing better. So that's why they're talking about this. But the weird thing about it is not only does it reveal how totally disconnected they are, but the more they talk about it, the more disconnected they become from those voters. And